Welcome to Panther Talk. Anish Shroff, Eugene Robinson, Jim Szoke, and we are joined, as always, on this Monday by Panthers head coach Dave Canales. Coach, I know not the start that you or the team or the fans wanted to begin the season, but when you digest everything that happened in Jacksonville and you looked at the film, what were a couple of key things the film review revealed?
Yeah, I mean, it's Tell the Truth Monday, so we had to go right to the turnovers. We cannot play that brand of football and expect to win in this league. You know, the early turnover, early interception by Bryce, the fumble before the half in scoring range, that just puts us at a real disadvantage, and that's something that philosophically that we have to be better at. You know, I think just in terms of, offense, let's stay with the offense first, just, looking at some bright spots and some plays being made, some run game that's there. Is overshadowed by the fact that we had a couple of turnovers, and we got to handle the blitz. We got to handle pressure better. We had a couple of great opportunities down the field, but it all starts with protection, making sure we're on the same page so we can take advantage of those opportunities because they put themselves in vulnerable spots from a coverage standpoint. And that's where we got to be explosive, and we got to cash in on those. On the flip side, on the defensive side, it's about tackling. It was missed opportunities at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. And then a couple down the field, and that was kind of the story of the day. Just making sure that we're disciplined about our run fits. A bunch of guys, playing a lot of games together for the first time. Got to be able to communicate. Got to trust each other. Be in our graps, and ultimately just play with our feet in the ground square and get the guy down.
Coach, I want to go to something now. You're talking about the defensive side of the ball. There's always hidden yardage, and people don't realize that when you miss a tackle, that really creates a lot of as a bubble effect because now a guy's getting more yardage than he should be getting. So where was all that hidden yardage? And I also saw a play when DJ Wanham coming inside, looked like he's going to do a spill technique to put the running back on the outside so that the linebacker could pick up, but seemed like somebody didn't get there. So yeah. What was that hidden yardage, sir?
Yeah, I think you hit it right there. You got a 70-yarder, a couple of nice third down rush lane. We got to be disciplined about just a third down rush lane scramble by the quarterback, and then there was 2 explosive runs in the 4-minute drill, and that's what it takes to have a big day rushing right there, and that's how the Jags were able to get that done, and that's where we got to be better at, in those run fits. But again, that's about trust. That's about playing our right technique and ultimately getting the guy down.
A lot of teams go through this, but you've incorporated a lot of new players. I know you talked about communication a little bit there, but a lot of these guys have had success and experience with other teams. But to be on the field for the first time in a live regular season game, does that naturally take part of a game at least or whatever? It seemed like in the second half things maybe tightened up a little bit as far as maybe being more cohesive. Yeah,
there's some really good football throughout this game on both sides and in special teams as well. I forgot to mention that. We got a bunch of young guys playing on special teams who I think did a phenomenal job just chasing the ball, covering kicks, and pretty good in the blocking game in terms of the returns. But this is the challenge for this group, and the league is not going to wait for us. And that's the urgency that we have in our building is like, look, yes, we have people playing together in real games for a full 4 quarters right now for the first time. Let's go. We got another one coming. And that's the mentality. That's the energy that's happening right now with our team. And, we had a great meeting today where we were able to just go right to the breakdowns, the breakdowns of the play, whether it was offense, defense, or special teams, tell the truth about it and tell the truth about the things that we did well so the guys can see, which is the sense I get from this group is they're disappointed because they know what we have. They know the group that we've put together here, and they expect to play better, so we'll build off of that.
Dave, one of the tipping points in the game seemed to be that sequence before the half and then after the half, 17-3. If Liggett gets that second foot in, maybe that changes the drive. 2 plays later, there's the fumble. They kick a field goal, and now all of a sudden, instead of maybe a 1-score game and you guys getting the ball with a chance to tie, 3-score game, which maybe impacts how you call the plays and how balanced you can be offensively?
Absolutely. This game is about execution, and the margins are so thin, in this league that we have to be able to make the plays that are there for us to make.
Coach, I asked you last week about the team and what was the character of the team. You mentioned it was about the physicality. Yeah. Did you see any of that stuff that you talked about, the physicality? Did you see that displayed in that game at all?
Absolutely, and that's the part where I after the game, I hop on the bus and start watching it immediately, and just kind of looking at what did this game feel like, and it felt like a team that's physical, a team that's fast, a team that gives great effort, and it also feels like a team that we got to be consistent about our basic fundamentals of the game. But it showed up, and I was proud of that part of it. I was proud of the finish. The guys kept playing hard all the way through it, but in order for us to go where we want to go and become the team that we want to become, this is about the most practical parts of the game.
As a follow-up to that thought, on the worst play of the game, Christian Roseboom, a linebacker, goes down the field, tracks Travis Etienne 71 yards, makes a tackle that if he doesn't make is maybe probably very likely a touchdown there. But just talk about the effort of a guy like that just, that's a football player not giving up on a play in a situation where it was a big negative play to begin with anyways.
Yeah, that's the pride thing. That's boom every day, and he gives everything he has, and he knows that if we get the guy down one more time, this gives us a chance potentially to have a turnover. We can stop him right there in those situations, make it challenging on the offense, just give us one more chance out there. Trevin did a good job of getting in front of it, turning it back so that, Christian could have a chance to run him down. But I just love what he exemplified in the type of effort that we're looking for from our players.
Dave, when it comes to the lineup, do you anticipate any changes between week 1 and week 2?
We're trying to get Icky back one day at a time. He was getting closer and closer to the game on Sunday and had a great workout today. So we're going to just keep pushing him a little bit more each day and try to get him back out there. Other than that, I'd like to see the young guys get out there and, just like we know that as you learn, you take your lumps, and you'll make some plays. And then you'll give up some plays, and all of it is valuable. All of it is valuable for learning the lessons that it takes to play this game well. So I think that's going to be the challenge for our group.
And, Coach, you would love to see your leaders come and really emerge at this point in time to go ahead and really galvanize that locker room.
Absolutely.
There's a kind of a general axiom in football that the biggest improvements are made between week 1 and week 2 of a season. Is that true? Do you see that in football through your past experiences? And obviously, that's your expectation this week as far as seeing that growth this week?
Yeah, my expectation is growth weekly. To your point, I think that when you make improvements, I think the improvements become smaller and smaller the further you get. The closer you get to playing really good football, they start off, especially with young players, the growth curve is so huge, and then all of a sudden you find good football, and then you got to really fight and scratch to find that little incremental improvement and compete to find whatever that edge is, But I think that, early on, especially for us, coming off of a game like this, we have some things that we can definitely clean up in week 2.
Coach, I've been asked this question. What do the coaches do on a rain delay that happens? What do they do as opposed to what does the team do?
Yeah, so we come in and first we go right to our players and we have the opportunity to look at the first couple of series to say this is how they're trying to play us here. We talk through some different things so that we can mentally, while it's fresh in your mind, kind of go through that part of it, and then after that, the coaches, we kind of get together, and have a quick 5-minute meeting. And, it was a pretty long delay. And then the players, we kind of asked them to take your shoulder pads off, breathe a little bit, change your socks if you want to, just to kind of get a fresh feeling like we're going to restart this thing. And then we just go through our whole body prep, just like we were going to start the game and start to get their readiness happen, take them out on the field, do a little bit more dynamic movement, and then rock and roll.
Coach, Bryce, being the quarterback, good or bad, always will be the lightning rod. That's the nature of the position. How do you assess his performance from week 1?
I think Bryce would be, if he's sitting here, he'll tell you he's got to play better. He's got to take care of the ball first and foremost. I thought that he did a great job of getting us to the right play, sorting us out with the protections, getting us to the right calls. He had us up there. We were ready to go. He gave us some good opportunities. He's got a few opportunities I'm sure he would like to have back, down the field on a couple of opportunities. But I just loved the way he kept leading. I loved the way he kept challenging the guys. And I fully expect him to continue doing that.
I saw you at your press conference. You talked about just the communication, those 5-6 extra seconds at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. What does that do for a quarterback?
Yeah, it's just they have so much good information in their mind that they can take all that in if we can be at the line of scrimmage where the snap is imminent. Once the snap is imminent, the defense at some point has to kind of show you what they're doing, And when you can do that, they can't wait you out all the way until you're under 5 seconds and then time up the snap and all those things. And so it's an advantage, and that's something that we'll have to continue to improve on.
A lot of anticipation with the fans about seeing T-Mac out there for his first game, and obviously you'd like to see that touchdown grab, which would have been a good one to get and a tough one to get. Overall, though, it looked like he was smooth and comfortable out there. What were your general impressions about him?
Yeah, confident, friendly to the quarterback, attacked the ball. He was on time. He was where he was supposed to be, at the depth he was supposed to be there, and just really showed us that he's going to be a reliable target for us.
I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the interception that was in the secondary. Beautiful play. How did JC play?
JC had a fantastic game. I thought that he was, in great position in the pass game, great position in the run game. Yes, there's stuff that I'm sure he would tell you. There's some thises and that's and technique-wise that he could have done better. The interception was a beautiful heads-up play. He recognized the concept, punched out, and then made a real high point, like incredible interception on it right in front of where I was sitting. And I'm standing on the sideline, and that's what we expect out of JC. We don't expect anything less. But I think what gets downplayed is how physical he played in the run game, showing up on the edge and throwing his body in there to get guys down.
Coach, last thing, Derek Brown's first game in about a year where he's played a lot of snaps. How did he hold up on the back end after the game?
Awesome. I think it sums it up in this. It's the fourth quarter. They're in one of the last series of the game. They have a 2-score lead. They throw a middle screen on 3rd and long. Derek Brown, at the end of the game, everything he's got comes out the stack, knocks down Travis Hunter. They gain about 3 yards. We hold them to a field goal, and it gives us a chance. And that's the reason I love Derek Brown. He embodies what we're looking for as a group. We just keep playing football. We just keep finishing. Try to do right longer than the opponent. That's our goal, and so I just love to be able to talk about that.
All right. Dave Canales, head coach of the Panthers. 1 week, there's still 16 more games. See you after Arizona.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.